Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and this is where we help you live a better life through gaining more freedom and independence, moving from surviving to thriving, exploring alternatives to the daily grind, and just living life raw. So today's theme is the power of mobility. I want to steer you guys into a direction of how you can survive automation, recession, a transition of business. You see, I'm having some difficulties with a business partnership that I'm affiliated with right now, and I'm starting off on my own and getting rid of the partnership, and how I am affected to the least amount by the strategies that I've used implementing the power of mobility and what the power of simple living, of RV living in particular, what it affords in times of recession, but just this basic mind frame of what is it that we can incorporate in our lives to utilize the power of mobility so we are minimally affected by the tricks and the monkey wrenches that life throws at us sometimes. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So guys, I want to talk to you today about this business idea I had. The whole thing got kiboshed and should be detrimental. I should be depressed, and in certain extents I am. But by the power of mobility, by implementing this concept of business, I think is very important. This is going to help anybody who's doing 9 to 5, anybody who's owns their own business, and let's jump in. So here's the thing. It's called spin farming, right? And I've been trying to develop a business model that I can use where I can take my daughter, my special needs daughter, with me. I am forced to do this for various reasons that I won't explain here. So spin farming is basically where you don't own the land. You ask somebody who does own land, is there some kind of value for exchange that we can do? I'd like to farm your land that you own. I'll pay the water bill, whatever exchanges you can come up with. You could even rent it or lease part of the land. So I've been looking to do this garden business, and a friend of mine hooked me up with a friend of his where he was already doing gardening and farming on this guy's land. It's like 16 acres. It's a very special piece of land because out here this is unheard of, really. I don't know if there's another piece of property, but it has its own freshwater mountain spring that bubbles up through his property year round. So free water, and also the cleanest water on the planet, would have been perfect, would have been awesome. So I get a phone call yesterday. Hey, the whole thing's been on kibosh because of personal reasons. As a businessman, it's none of my business what has happened with this guy, other than the fact that my plans got kiboshed. Luckily for me, this new business I was looking to start, I was looking to spend $2,000-3,000 on. I didn't purchase everything just yet, but I want to explain to you the significance of what my plan is. So most spin farmers would go and they would start tilling the soil, like of say this gentleman's place, and they would start adding fertilizers and additives and starting to develop the soil basically to a nutshell. And if something ever changed, the owner benefits. He's got this rich soil that's been farmed and taken care of and weeded and everything. But the spin farmer himself gets screwed. Now the way I've applied power of mobility is that my business plan is actually container growing. So meaning all of my tomatoes and vegetables and whatever I'm growing is all grown in containers. Therefore, I do not own the land, but I own the soil. And there's various reasons and benefits of that in itself about container gardening, but I want to stay strictly to business today. So in the event that I already purchased everything, if I had another plot someplace to move, which would be very wise, I would simply pick up my operations and I would move it over to the next spin farm, the next area, without delay. All the work I did is all mobile. The pots, even with established plants, can be lifted, put inside of a trailer, individually taken to the new location, set up. The watering system for this farm, all the irrigation is just merely you disconnect it from a hose, you wind everything up, you pull everything with you. If there's any hoop houses or anything of that nature, everything goes with you. You never skip a beat. So I'm very depressed that this opportunity appears to be over. It may change in the future. I don't know. But I'm very excited on the same side of the coin to look and go, you know what? I would have lost some time, and it may happen again because I'm definitely going to go on with this business. But Business continues as usual. That's the point of this show. Or what are things that we can do from society, from the systems of society and the ideas that we're of the way we're supposed to do things? How do we become unaffected by these things? How do we design our lives to come out ahead no matter what? And I think power of mobility is one of those, is the example I just gave you. I want to tell you guys about my lifestyle, is basically how I live as well, and how this pertains to mobility. I live in an RV full time. This is legal this time. I used to live on a farm with a community where we got busted by the city because our operations, our living quarters were not legal here in the state. So we all had to evacuate and the community got broken up. This time I moved into an RV park, and I see these all over the United States and Texas, Oregon, and everything, as low as like $500 a month, you guys. So the power of mobility is I'm living full time in an RV. I've got about 4 years on my belt, but this gives me the power, and I want to take the story to 2008 when there was a recession. And what I heard was a lot of people were actually getting rid of their homes. Their renters were moving out of their houses, and people were traveling to Phoenix, Arizona for some reason or another. I just met an awful lot of people that were like, yeah, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona is where it's at. There's jobs there. There's nothing here in LA. Everything's drying up. Watching people of what they had to go through to sell a lot of their belongings, get rid of a lot of things, get into a car, drive into a hotel, get to Phoenix and get a life started, try to find a place to rent. Whereas the RV living, and there are some cons to RV. There's a lot of cons, but there's also a lot of pros to it as well. So the power of mobility is, if there ever was a recession again, and I needed to, not that I have to, I didn't have to move in 2008, but if I really did need to, I can literally pick up my house and be gone in probably about 2 days. I'm a month to month here where I'm staying, which is another beauty thing. Most of these RV parks are. I know that the next state over, or even in this state, on my way to, say if I was destined for Phoenix, Arizona, there's places I can stop by, and I can spend a couple nights in an RV park for like $45, $50 a night. Full hookups, electricity, everything if I needed water. And I get to take all of my tools, my things with me. My loss would be minimal. So it's the power of mobility for various reasons. I think though in the RV, I don't want to go too far, and this is not what it's about, but you're able to save a hell of a lot of money, whether you're in debt, or trying to save up to buy the dream home that you want, not settle for second best. You see, my plan is while we're on the game of recession, I'd like to save up a whole bunch of money while I'm living simple and tiny in my RV park. Wait till the next recession hits, and if I have enough money and I decide that I do want to buy a place, wait till the properties go way down low. Someone's in desperate need to get rid of something to get them bills off their chest, and that's when I swoop in and I purchase a piece of property. I want to talk a little bit more about the applications of this idea. One of the things that concerns me, and I think it should concern you because it is already happening, is automation. For those of you who don't know what automation is, to make it quite simply, it's when you can mechanize something. You don't need people. You can just have it mechanized. Meaning, let's take a look at, it was a Home Depot I went into. They already have these self-kiosk things where you can check yourself out. There's no checker there. There's just one person standing behind a desk, watching to make sure if anybody needs any help. They've had it for quite a bit of time now, where you go and you scan. You have to run it over the table, the scanner, to read the barcode, and sometimes it doesn't work, and that's when you need the lady to come by, and she'll scan it for you with her gun, her little scanner gun thing. And now I went to a Home Depot where they have the scanner guns at every kiosk, and these things are very accurate, and as long as you got a barcode on the product you're purchasing, you scanning, you're doing everything yourself. That's automation, guys. Costco's doing the same thing. They have a kiosk now where you show up and you just slide your card, enter in a slice of pizza, a hot dog, a soda, whatever you want. It gives you a number, it charges you, the person calls your name at the window, you go and grab your goods. If you want to talk to somebody, it's cash only. This is very interesting. I've seen people pissed off at Costco. If you don't have cash and you come with a card, they're like, no, now that you've been waiting in line for so long, and they do have a sign there though, it says cash only, you got to go to the kiosk and order your food there. Costco is also automated. Their pizzas taste really good. They're the closest to perfection because of automation. They designed this thing that presses the dough in a perfect circle in the dimensions every single time, where a human being just has to kind of fluff things up a little bit, and that's about it. They then stick this. It looks like a record player. It spins in a circle, and the sauce. There's equal amounts of sauce on every single pizza, and it divides it equally from the outside all the way to the inside. There's pre-measured cheese. So you see where I'm going with this is like, I don't know how many jobs that's taken away, but I think that we should definitely be concerned. I think we should definitely be concerned about automation. If you think for one moment that your boss or the business that you own can't be automated, that there's not people sitting out there going, how can I make millions by getting rid of you? If you don't think that that's a reality, I kind of don't know what to tell you, because I believe that there's a lot of stuff out there that could be automated and hasn't yet. Oh, let me give you an example. We'll go on. I'm going to use some bartending for a 9 to 5er. I know somebody who's a bartender now, and then I'll finish up this automation thing here. I heard that a bartender got sued for giving too much alcohol to an individual, and the individual took off from the bar. They weren't monitored. They were drunk. They got in a car. He got in a car wreck and actually hurt or killed other individuals. The courts came in. The lawyers came together and figured out that, hey, he got intoxicated, and why did the bartender let him walk out of the bar hammered? I can see automation coming into a certain scenario like this, where you have to slide your ID into a kiosk. There would be no bartender behind the desk, and you would slide it in there, and it would say yes. It would confirm that you are the drinking age, above 21. But as I said with the Costco pizza, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes a drink can have too much alcohol or not enough alcohol. So as far as the, what would I call them, the client, the person visiting the establishment would expect a really nice drink. I, for one, would like it if it had more alcohol in it myself, but you would, if you wanted a certain drink, it would be nice to have it automated. What if it mixed the perfect dimensions every single time with ice and everything, where you stuck your ID and you put your card in there, and it would fill up the glass with a certain amount of ice, and then mix, it would jet in the right amount of Jack Daniels and the right amount of Coke and a little squeeze of lemon or whatever the hell it is that you're drinking. It was perfect every single time. Now, moving from the bar owner, each one of these, each one of these drinks, there's no waste. Everything would be streamlined and automated, so he would know precisely on measurements how much money he's making. There's no guesswork of overfilling or underfilling. So you can see, I mean, this is like Henry Ford shit, assembly line, McDonald's with their cheeseburger. If you guys don't know, McDonald's, years and years ago, decades ago, would just have somebody put a pickle on a burger, right? Somebody would cook a burger. They'd slide it down the line, assembly line. Someone would put a piece of cheese, slide it. Someone would put a tomato. They'd slide it over to the lettuce guy, to the pickle guy, to the buns guy, and then it's out. And that's how they're able to sell thousands, if not millions, of hamburgers at a super cheap price, because they were in production super fast and didn't really take any brains about it. So I don't know what your job is, what your occupation is, and I don't claim to have all the answers, but I want to get you guys into the mind frame of the power of mobility. If you're at a job that you don't like, and let's just say it's bartending, and say you're not getting paid enough, or maybe the establishment's not performing right, you're not getting enough tips and things like that, and you want to move to someplace, another bar someplace, what advice would I give? And I did give this to this person, that's why I'm using this example. I would start studying. There's a lot of downtime sometimes at a bar where there's not a lot of people. You got this thing called a smartphone. You can start researching things. I mean, I've got a family member, a sister of mine, who lives in New Orleans, the Sassy Chef. You guys should check her out. She makes some crazy fucking food, you guys. Crazy shit. Well, she's all over into drinks now, too. And she was doing these things like this bacon martini. She's coming up with her own stuff, just sitting there messing around and taste testing, coming up with her own drinks. She actually had Sky Vodka manufacturers of alcohol, giving her free samples and stuff to go, hey, use our product and promote it. So I can see at a 9 to 5 job, whatever it is you're doing on the structure of being a bartender, start looking at stuff, start spicing things up. So would you like to drink something exciting? I've got a bacon martini. I've got a blah blah blah, a Bloody Mary done in this certain way, and start getting some experience doing this and get some feedback. And what this is going to do is two things. I think that if there was a smart manager or business owner of the bar, if you were able to liven things up and create these new drinks that people aren't aware of in your area, and gets them talking. People love new stuff. It would actually make them more money. If they weren't smart enough to see that, it gains you experience. And we're going to move on to that. I think what you should do if you were a 9 to 5er is pretend that you're an entrepreneur and start documenting things that you're doing. Start making videos, basically getting yourself ready for like a resume of new things that you're trying. Start learning the history of, say, how whiskey changes when it's done in oak barrels and smoked whiskey, and where's the originations from vodka. What are the differences between a good vodka and a bad vodka? There's always room for improvement, and this is ways that a 9 to 5 job, no matter what you're doing, go above and beyond the experience level that if you so choose to, and you want to get ahead and you want to get out of this, but you also want the power of mobility. Start learning more and beyond of what's in your field. And the cool thing about that, about like this bartending, I know it's not for all business or workplace examples, is during that downtime you're actually getting paid. You're getting paid to learn. Anytime that you guys can get a job where you're getting paid to learn, in my book, you may not be getting ahead now, but you're making money and you're also learning, and that gives a gift to your future self. Getting back on, if you were a bartender, the story, and you went to a new bar and you showed them these videos and showed them the passion that you have, and say, hey, look, I know that the best whiskeys are done because of smoked aged oak barrels and aged for blah 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 amount of time, and I'm really into alcohol. I know everything about the history, about the blends, and I also have come up with some drinks of my own. I'd be glad to make you some small samples so you can try it yourself, and I really think I could spice this place up. I could bring in more business, and I'm happy to do so. And you prove to them what type of use that they have, or that what type of use that you have, what kind of value for value exchange. Why would you want me working here? I spoke enough on that. I think I want to go into my own business, and I've said this before, but I want to say it again, is I've been told that I'm making things hard on myself when I ended up moving out of state or moving into this new county. I used to live in Los Angeles. I lived in the state of Oregon. I came back to Los Angeles. I moved to the North County of San Diego in California. Didn't know anybody. I didn't have any clients or anything here, but I've designed these ways where I'm using the internet. There are these apps, there are these companies that go out, they spend all the money to find clients. They need somebody, some contractors like me, to go actually serve these clients. So they're the median person, and these people are located throughout the United States. So the power of the internet and social media, as far as the power of mobility, I moved to a complete new state. I've moved to a complete county over, and literally the next day, I want to say like 2 to 3 days, I already get a phone call. I get a text message, and I've already got clients lined up. So utilizing the web, I think, you guys, this is one of the most inspiring times to be alive. There's a lot of bullshit happening, yes, but there's a lot of good stuff too. But utilizing the internet is a powerful, powerful tool that we have in our lives, and it's sad to see that we don't utilize it. So that's how I've been able to stay afloat and actually excel, is using companies like this. I don't want to mention their names so I don't get in trouble, but they're out there. You can look for them yourself. There's all kinds of apps for all kinds of different business owners, and you can literally pick up stuff. You just got to start building your name. That's the other thing I want to move into, is branding. And so I'll explain to you guys. I'm in partnerships with a company who I've had some turbulence with, and things may be happening to where I have to go. And I've already established my own business, and it's sitting on standby. It was established here in 2019. I got it sitting there. I want it to gain a couple years behind it. If I have to use it immediately, I will, but it's a plan B, and it's there. It's all ready to go. I mean, I literally can just switch over within an hour and start utilizing my own license, my own business. But in this partnership, one of the mistakes I see a lot of people do is branding the company, doing a lot of work. And it goes back to like the spin farming thing. You're developing the soil for this person on their property, and then they decide to make a decision that they don't want you anymore. They actually come out ahead, you lose. So with the company that I'm in partnerships with, I make these videos going back to social media, and I promote myself, I brand myself. And in these videos, I never mentioned the company name. I always mentioned my name. So you see, I'm able to, the power of mobility is take all those videos and everything that I've done and move them right over into my new company. So I don't know what further to say on this, but the power of mobility is, I think, very intriguing, and I think it's very smart. I don't. It would take a long time to try to figure out everybody's situation. If you want to PM me or put some things in the comments, I'll see if I can answer some questions for you guys. But I want to get you guys in that mentality. What is it that you can do, whether you work 9 to 5 or you're an entrepreneur, a business owner? What could you do to save yourself in case of a recession, in case of automation, or in the case that you figured, hey, I just don't want to do this anymore? Try to figure out, get yourself in the mode of being mobile, being able to get rid of it and move on to something else, or take it with you wherever you're going, because times are changing, guys. It's very difficult to know how things are going to structurize. They're changing by the day. And I don't want you guys to get left behind. I don't want to get left behind. But I want to leave you guys with a quote from Benjamin Franklin. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Think about that, guys. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And the way I see this is, it's been told to me, but I don't give a shit what people think about me. You worry too much, you plan too much, you do all these things, but you know what? A lot of the work that I've done, the pre-planning, has saved me, I can give you guys a story. I've been saving money for just I got a year's supply of emergency funds, right? But beyond that, I just kind of put some money towards something. I said, you know what? I never know when I'll need this. I'll just start putting that there. Sure enough, my dog needed eye surgery. It was very serious. Her eye could have exploded, basically just popped. All the fluid would come out, and she basically would have to be put down. And because I made these arrangements, my beautiful pup, which I love dearly, is alive today because of me, because of the plans that I implemented. I took some prevention. I've put that money aside, and that, my friends, that little ounce that I did there far exceeds the pound that I had to spend, and made life a lot easier, because I would have been heartbroken of having to put my animal down for a stupid little issue called money and ill planning. That would be my fault. So that's what I got for you guys today. Put some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.